want to practice with? All right. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Sandeep, and I'm an IELTS expert at IELTS Tutorials Aussies Group. And I'm a certified trainer. And today we are having reading section, matching heading questions workshop. So what we would be doing, initially we would discuss about the reading section in general overview. Then we are going to pick up our matching heading questions. I would be exactly exhibiting you that how to locate the information. And then of course you would be discussing tips and strategies. And everyone, there is a getaway for you. So remain logged in throughout. Each participant, if you're going to stay for throughout session, you are going to get a surprising practice test zone or something interesting along with that. In between, if you have any questions, you could always ask through the comment box. So I'd be taking those questions as well. Now, if we have a look at as a group, our journey, we have had 130,000 registered IELTS test takers. That's quite an achievement in itself. Then online coaching, as we have IELTS tutorials .online dedicated IELTS coaching platform. So more than 1,500 students have enrolled for it. And if you have a look at the success rate, I mean, this is not like something that happens every day. Like overall, 70% of the students have achieved more than bands above 7. It's quite an achievement. And we have a dedicated Android application as well. The users would be 135,000. And we got iOS application users, approximately 30,000. So application rating would be 4.7, quite phenomenal. Now we have a dedicated Telegram group community as well, IELTS tutorials group, Telegram group community, approximately 12,000, or we are heading very close to 13K over there. Now, this would be our learning app, and I would recommend that till you are preparing for your IELTS, please do download it. Very useful. It gives you your preparation material that you can practice tests as well, and samples from all modules. And there are some useful blogs, tips and tricks too. So till your IELTS preparation is going on, very useful application, you'll find it. Now today, as we'll be discussing specifically reading section and matching heading questions. So I would be giving, probably some of you are just starting your preparation, you are in the initial stages of your preparation. So we'll be giving you a bit of overview of IELTS test. So IELTS is 4 components: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Listening, reading, writing would always be in one go or in one session. Speaking would be in a different session always. Speaking can be held on the same day as your listening, reading, writing, or it can be held prior to your listening, reading, writing, or even afterwards. Listening test, duration approximately 30 minutes, and there would be 40 questions. Each correct answer gives you 1 point. There is no negative marking. According to your correct answers, you are assigned a band score. Then comes your reading section. So according to like the timing, the listening section would be 30 minutes, reading section would be 60 minutes, and there are 40 questions. Each correct answer gives you 1 point. Same thing, no negative marking. So never leave any blank spaces on your answer sheet. Time is very important when it comes to reading section. So whenever you are starting your practice, even from the day 1, make sure that you are timing yourself. Put that stopwatch time whenever you attempt it. 40 questions, 60 minutes time, and you would notice time flies like seconds. Then writing section, 60 minutes time, 2 tasks would be there. Initial 20 minutes, task 1, remaining 40 minutes, task 2. There would be 2 modules, academic and general training. Someone who is planning to go abroad on a student visa, then you are going to undertake academic module. Your task 1 would be drafting a report on a given line graph, bar graph, could be a pie chart, process cycle, or a diagram. Then task 2 would be writing an essay on a given topic. Then if you are applying for PR or under express entry, or under skilled migration program, then you need to undertake general training. So in the writing section, your task one would be writing a letter on a given topic. It could be formal, semi-formal, or informal one. So this would be listening section, 30 minutes, 40 questions, reading section, 60 minutes, 40 questions, writing section, 60 minutes time, 2 tasks would be there. Then comes your speaking test, 11 to 14 minutes. This would be informal test. Now, from 25th June this year, some changes were made in terms of the test order. So initially, it used to be the same for everyone, paper-based test or computer-delivered test. Listening, reading, writing would be the test order. But for paper-based test, the new test order was started. So this would be the writing, listening, and reading one. So I can see a good number of students joining in, and in between, I'd be asking you a few questions. So this is overview of IELTS test. Now, as we are well in the flow, I'd be asking you a few questions, and as I have given you basic information, so as much as you know about it, so try to answer it, and please do participate. Participation is vital, I would say. Now, this one, I would be asking this question that as I have given you some information about it as well. So let me see that how many things you can recall from here. So, and would certainly encourage everyone, please do participate. All the questions that I'm asking, all the questions that I'm putting before you, we are trying to learn about IELTS, because once you know about all 4 sections, so it would be very helpful. And everyone, please do participate. So how many questions are there in the IELTS reading test? So I can see students are attempting it. Everyone, please do attempt this one. So each member should be attempting this one. All right, let's have a look. So 92% got correct, and really good. So there will be 40 questions. Again, probably you are in the initial stages of preparation. You are learning about the test. That's all right. Now, the next one I'd be asking. Okay. What is the duration of IELTS reading section? If you know the correct answer, duration of the IELTS reading section. Everyone, the more you're going to participate, the more we are going to learn about IELTS test. What is the duration of the IELTS reading section? Thank you. I can see overwhelming support that all of you are participating. Thank you so much. So duration would be 60 minutes. Now, the next one. Let's see. So as we discussed that, what is the new test order for paper-based IELTS test? And have a look. All of these look quite similar. So throughout this session, we are going to be very interactive. You know, it wouldn't be one-sided communication. We are getting to know each other, and then we are going to master, or we would try to ace the matching heading questions in the simplified way. Thank you so much for your overwhelming participation. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So this would be, as you can see, that 64% of our family members, I would call you, have answered it writing, listening, and reading. And this is the correct one. So that from 25th June, they made some changes in the test order. For paper-based test, the new test order would be writing, listening, and reading. Thank you. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, one more poll question. Exactly the same questions that we discussed. Probably this was not discussed. So how many passages are assigned in the IELTS academic module? So if you know the answer, if you are preparing for academic module, how many passages are you going to come across? So there are two modules, academic and general training. So when it comes to academic module, how many passages will be there? Once again, I would encourage everyone to participate. Everyone is sharing their viewpoints. Okay, there you go. So there would be three passages, three long passages. Each passage contains 13 to 14 questions. Thank you so much. So there'll be three passages. That will be the answer. Now let's get to know each other. How many of you are preparing on your own? If you could just type in the comment box that I am preparing my own, or self-study, you could write. Or if you have already joined any coaching or with our group, so coaching or self-study, if you could just type in the comment box. Everyone, if you are preparing on your own, or have you joined any coaching? So do let me know. All right. Now you would be given reading test. And so what is the purpose of giving you reading test? So this one, the IELTS reading test is aimed at evaluating a candidate's ability to read and interpret academic English. That's the objective, that can you understand English? Can you understand the how it would be in the written format? Can you understand the overall meaning? Excuse me. And scan for specific information. So sometimes you are given your fill in the blanks. So there you need to look precise information. Are you able to locate that precise information? This is what is expected. Sometimes you need to look for gist of the passage. Then understanding the questions being asked. These would be the objectives. Now, if you get to know about the IELTS reading module quickly. So duration of your IELTS reading test would be 60 minutes and there'll be 40 questions. Each question carries 1 point. There is no negative marking. So make sure that you attempt each and every question. Never leave any blank spaces, no negative marking. Then you are given 40 questions. Each correct answer has 1 point. And according to your correct answers, you are assigned a band score. Now, scores are reported in whole and in half bands. So it could be that 6.5, 6, according to your correct answers. And there would be a range of question types when it comes to reading section. So you are given a passage, then set of questions along with that passage. Those question types could be fill in the blanks questions, that's sentences with blanks in between, where your task is to find the exact word from the passage. You cannot use synonyms, you cannot make up your own words, so you need to use exact words from the given passage. So that's the first category. The second one would be matching questions, where you'd be attempting short answer questions, multiple choice questions, matching heading questions, or match list questions. The third one would be true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given questions. So these would be the question types. And when it comes to fill in the blanks, you need to locate precise information. You cannot use synonyms. The exact word would be given and you need to write it. Now, we have a dedicated platform to provide you IELTS coaching. And as you can see at the moment, we are having such reduced prices, and you are making a small investment towards way better things in life. Probably if you are preparing on your own, then I'm sure you could see that how much dedication that requires. You are spending so much of your time just looking out for information. Some of those information is reliable, some of that information is not reliable. Some prices are reduced. We have 2 duration courses. One is for 4 weeks, the another one is for 8 weeks. And this is a small investment towards way better things, I would say. So if we have a look at the academic module first, so student visa, you'll be given 3 passages. Each passage has 13 to 14 questions. Overall, there'll be 40 questions. And if you have a look at the question types, these look quite a few, but 3 categories only: fill in the blanks, matching questions, and true false not given questions. And you need to have certain reading skills to locate the information. That would be scanning and skimming. Not each and every part of the given text is important. Understanding main ideas. If you are given a detailed text, locating the precise information. And the most important part would be understanding opinions and attitude. Now we have another module as well, that would be general training. So here you are given, instead of 3 passages, you are given 3 sections. Section 1 and 2 contain shorter paragraphs. The number of questions would be equal for each section, 13 to 14, 40 questions once again. So 40 questions, 60 minutes time. The question types would be the same as well: fill in the blanks, matching questions, and true, false not given, or yes, no not given questions. And you need to have the same reading skills to locate the information. Now, so a bit of information that all the passages that you would see, that where this material is taken from. So you are given a passage or you are given a section. So this information is taken from books, journals, magazines, or newspapers when it comes to academic one. General training, the section 1 would be from books, magazines, newspapers, notices, or advertisements. And the second one, or the passage 2, could be about company handbooks or guidelines. And there would always be a long passage or a text like the academic one. So you, like in the academic or student visa, you have all 3 long passages. But in the general training, you would, in section 1 and 2, you have shorter paragraphs. Now, it doesn't mean that if paragraphs are short, it's very easy to locate the information. It's going to test your reading skills extensively. Now, looking at the score, so you'd be given 40 questions. Each correct answer gives you 1 point. So in the academic module or student visa, if you are aiming for band 9, 39 or 40 correct answers would give you that. If you are aiming for band 8 student visa, then you would require, out of 40, 35 to 36 correct answers. Then when it comes to general training module, the bar is raised slightly higher. If you would like to attain band 9, you need to have all 40 correct answers. And the band 8, you would need 37 to 38 correct answers out of 40. Now, if we have a look at the reading module, this certainly does not help. Probably you are doing one of these things, so do watch out. So we are going to discuss initially that what does not help. So avoid this. Just testing yourself is a very common mistake a test taker does, that a test taker thinks that I'm going to attempt 50 tests and I'd be fine. If you are not going to follow up on your mistakes, your score is going to get stuck. You would not be able to go past maybe 20, 25, or maybe 30. Always follow up your mistakes. That's very important. If you are just going to test yourself, this is not going to help you. Then another thing, that you are just reading lots of books, but I mean, just reading. I mean, are you just reading? Are you making note of any difficult words? So just reading would not help, because probably you would read the difficult word quickly and you are not going to understand the meaning in its true sense. So just reading, not making a note of your advanced words or difficult words would not help you. So these are the things we are discussing that does not help. Now, tutor alone, or if you have joined any coaching for that matter, So if the tutor is just giving you tips and strategies, okay, this is what you need to do. This is tried and tested. It's a collective effort. It's a journey that is undertaken shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand. So the test taker alone cannot do much. So is the tutor cannot do everything on their own. So it's a collective journey. Then not follow a strategy. We've been doing few things throughout academic years, especially when it comes to reading. If we are given a passage, we would read the passage and then we would read the questions. But here it's opposite, because you have 40 questions, 60 minutes time. So the strategy, the basic strategy, you would notice that always read the questions first. And the sole reason of doing so is to save time. Now, you do not need to panic that I'm going to read the question first and I'm going to locate that answer. How is it going to work? I have not gone through even the passage. So you would have a look at the question, and then you would look out only that part of the information which the question is demanding. Not everything would be relevant, just the question part. Then if you are not going to follow tips and strategies, this is not going to work. There are tips and strategies for each and every question type. If you're not going to follow, if you're going to have your own ways, especially like move on strategy, that if you are not getting your answer, move on. Just come back to it like at a later stage, but move on, or just identifying the keywords or making note of difficult words. Now, all that list was that what does not help. Then what helps them? Okay, the first thing would be that get some real practice tests. That's very important. You need to simulate the test-like situation. Then you would be undertaking 2 to 3 tests under exam conditions while timing yourself. That are you able to complete 40 questions in 60 minutes time or not? So this is you are going to do, and this would certainly give you a bit of understanding that where do you stand. Now, the next thing, that note down any difficult word that you do not know the meaning of. That's very important. When it comes to reading section, so reading is more of your vocabulary test. So if you do not know the meaning of any advanced word in the question or in the passage, and they are going to use specific advanced words in the question, if you do not know the meaning, probably you would not understand the meaning in its entirely correct form, and you are going to have an educated guess and you are going to mistake. So this initially is going to be quite cumbersome effort, that you are picking up words and then you are noting those down, find out the meaning. But trust me, this simple thing would take you a long way. Then what helps? Another thing would be that honestly correct yourself. That's very important. That when you are doing the self-evaluations, do not give yourself a chance that, okay, I would mark it correct. If it's incorrect, make sure that you mark it incorrect. Honest self-evaluations is vital. Then analysis of your mistakes. Excuse me. And when you make mistakes, so never move on. You need to know that what went wrong. So always follow up your mistakes when it comes to reading section. If you are not going to do that, your score is going to get stuck. Probably 20, maybe 25, you are never going to go past that. So this certainly helps. And in between, if you have any questions, you could always ask here in the chat box. I am looking out for your messages as well, if you would like to ask whatever we are discussing. So we want to make it a very interactive session for you all. Then the next thing would be work on your weaknesses. We all have weaknesses when it comes to either we are really good in the listening section or we are really good in the speaking. But when it comes to writing or reading, we have our own weaknesses, maybe misspellings, or we tend to get distracted. We would not apply the strategies. So work on your weaknesses. Or maybe just one of the question types, or maybe more than one question types is your weakness. So you are going to practice those question types a lot. Like if you happen to enroll our classes, we have the question bank. The first thing that we are going to see that what are your weaknesses, then you are given or you are provided those question banks related to one particular task. Now, what could be the weaknesses when it comes to reading section? And I'm sure most of you would be able to relate. So reading skills, that you are trying to read, but you are not understanding it. So you need to know the reason that why you are unable to understand the question and why you are unable to understand the passage. And the main reason for that would be the advanced words. They are going to put the advanced words in the question or in the passage. So if you are, you have access to phones or laptops or computers, then look out for the word, look out for the meaning. If you understand the question, this would be so easy. And probably most of the time, the culprit is one or two words. If you know the meaning of those words, you would understand the question like, this was really easy. So then the same thing with the passage. So the reading skills, vocabulary. So the reading section is your vocabulary test. Basically, I mean, not like in its entirety, but to some extent, it's your vocabulary test. So any difficult word, make sure that you make a note of it. Then strategies are very important because you have 60 minutes time, 40 questions. So if you're not going to apply the strategies like reading the question first, identifying the keywords, the elimination strategy when it comes to multiple choice questions, or match the headings questions, just move on, just write down your summary, then match with the given headings. So we would have a look at one of the matching heading questions as well, and I'd be giving you tips, of course, and I'm sure that these would be quite useful to you. Now, spellings. So, I mean, most of you may be making mistakes when it comes to spellings. Some spellings you're going to use would be for the fill in the blanks questions. The correct word is already given to you. So you just need to make sure that you copy it correctly. Sometimes you are not paying attention that, there was a double S in the correct word is already given to you in the passage. You just need to make sure that the fill in the blanks you are writing the exact word or you're copying it correctly. So spellings are very important. Make sure that you copy it correctly from the given passage. Then your weaknesses could be any specific question type, maybe just matching heading questions, which is today's topic, or maybe true, false, not given. Or it could be matching heading questions, multiple choice questions. Very likely that these would be your weaknesses. Now, today we are discussing matching heading questions. What we'll be doing, initially I will explain about the task. Then next we are going to discuss method of the matching heading questions. Then there would be a guided practice as well. I would be looking at the question and then would be exactly pointing out as the same way we do during the class as well. Then you would be given a chance to practice on your own as well, and you would let me know that how you did. Now, there would be two types of tests. One would be computer delivered test, one would be paper-based test. So this is how it's going to look like. On the left-hand side, you would have your reading questions or your reading passages, and then your on the right-hand side, at the same time, you can have a look at your questions as well. So like as you can see, this is related to matching heading questions. You are given your passage on the left-hand side, and right-hand side, you are given paragraph D, C, B. So you need to find from these given headings, which heading would be suitable for the given paragraph D, then C, and then B. So this is how it's going to look like when it comes to your computer delivered test. Then paper-based test, how it's going to look like. You'd be given on, like, of course, your question paper would be on a piece of paper. So you would have your reading passages, A to whatever number is given, maybe 5 paragraphs would be there, maybe 6. So then you are given your list of headings and then your questions. So the instructions along with the questions are very important. So you should always read your instructions carefully. The first thing before even looking at the question and then the passage, always understand what are your instructions. Now, this would be today's task. So this is how it's going to look like for paper-based test. Now, this would be today's task that we are going to discuss. You are given list of headings that 1 to 8. Then you are given 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Then you are given your passages. So A, B, C, and in this manner. So it's a long passage. Now, these look quite confusing in the beginning, that you think that, what exactly am I supposed to do? How to make sure that I get my answer right each and every time? So we would read from the starting. We are going to read the instructions. Choose the correct heading for each section from the list of headings below. Write the correct number 1 to 8 in boxes 28 to 32 on your answer sheet. So these are your headings. You are going to read the headings quickly. So each and every heading should be read before reading the passage. So while writing your answer, you need to remember that you need to write the lowercase Roman numeral. That's very important. So I'd be highlighting. So you need to make sure this write the correct number, lowercase Roman numeral. If you end up writing this sentence, your answer will be marked wrong. So do not write the sentence, rather lowercase Roman numerals while writing your answers. So how you would going to attempt it? So solving the puzzle of a papyrus document, the importance of written records and different ways of recording them, the use of papyrus for a range of purposes, suggestions for future possibilities for papyrus, how papyrus was cultivated and different manufacturing methods, the decline of papyrus use, the preservation and destruction of papyrus documents, the process of papyrus production. This is how you're going to read all the headings. After that, you are going to come to the first paragraph. Now, do remember that these headings are not questions. That's a very common mistake. A test taker thinks that these are questions and I am seeking one-line answer. You are not seeking one-line answers. These are like book titles. You are given 6 books and without any title, or you are given movies. If you have a look, any movie you can pick up or any book you can pick up. Just in 2 words or 3 words, you get the gist of, or you understand the meaning of it, that what exactly is the theme of the movie. So exactly the same thing you're doing when you are picking the theme of a movie or a book. You are not looking any particular page that you would find your answer in the first line or the second line or third line. You're going to read the book from start to finish. Then you are going to come to a conclusion that the theme of the book or movie is, it could be action, thriller, suspense, whatever it is. So the theme would be from start to finish, not any one particular line. So it's like you are given books without any titles. You need to choose the theme, and all these options are themes of those books. You are not seeking one-line answer. That's what you need to remember. Now, so how we would go, that we would read the first paragraph from start to finish, and then we are going to write our own summary. So you would read from start to finish and read it in a way that you understand it. Now, do not read really fast. Probably you would not be able to comprehend it in the beginning or initial stages of your preparation. The topmost priority is the accuracy. You need to get your answers right. So once you have given yourself that confidence that my accuracy is spot on, then you're going to practice more and your total time taken would be reduced. So in the beginning, do not constantly check time that I'm taking too long, but your main focus should be on the accuracy. Now, let me show you how we would be reading it. Now, so I think to start with, few things are clear, that we need to write the correct lowercase Roman numeral. The second one, that these headings are not questions. These are book titles, you can say, or movie titles. Someone is showing us the movie, whole movie, and after that asking, was it action movie? You can pick up any movie name, Fast and Furious. Just in 3 words, you get the essence of the movie, Fast and Furious. So it's going to be an action-packed movie. So even before going to the theater, we get a fair bit of idea. Same thing. So we would read the first paragraph from start to finish. Then we are going to create our own heading or our own theme. Then what I would recommend, that computer delivered test, you'd have your login details on a piece of paper. On the same paper, you can make notes. So write your summary on that piece of paper. Paper-based test, you are allowed to write on the question paper. So you would write your own summary on that piece of paper and make sure that you write it. Otherwise, suppose all these passages that you see from A to E, this information is interrelated. So this is not that all the passages are independent. The story starts from here, libraries, and ends here. So this is not like all the paragraphs are independent. So when you are going to create your own heading, if you are not going to write it down, all the headings that you see here are so similar to your summary. If you're going to keep it in mind that, okay, I believe this is my heading, I'm not writing it down, I would just remember it. And then when you are matching, there is a very slight minor difference between each option. Even the first 2 are so similar. And if you check further, it gets really confusing that all headings are looking so similar to your heading that you are trying to memorize. And then what happens that you get distracted, you end up picking a wrong one. So, but we need to find a way. We want to make sure that the accuracy is spot on. So what would be the option? We are going to write it down on a piece of paper. It wouldn't take long. We are not writing the paragraphs or passages, just one line. Quickly, you can scribble it so that you can read it. Then once you have written your own heading or your own summary, that I believe this was the main content that was discussed, then you are going to compare with each and every heading. Now, when you are comparing, the good thing is that you have written it on a piece of paper. Now, when you're going to match it, you would not be distracted, which is the case. The primary reason a test taker makes a mistake is that you're trying to keep the heading in your mind, or you're comparing it with your memory to the 8 options, which are so similar to your memory. So you get distracted. So you have written it, and then you're going to match with each and every heading. So you look at the option number 2, there you go, I got my answer. Or you look at the option 3rd one, it was so easy for me. But again, you need to remember one thing, that you are going to check with each and every option. Maybe the 3rd one looks very convincing, very promising, but if you check further, you may find a more suitable one. So always cross-check your summary with each and every heading. So you have to do it with each and every option. If you're going to pick a random one, probably the first one, then very likely you're going to make a mistake. It's going to cost you a point. So make sure that you check with each and every option. Then sometimes what may happen, that you did everything right, you read the instructions, you read all the headings, you read the first paragraph, you read it carefully, you wrote your own summary, and then when you were trying to match it, all headings look same. So what happens in that situation? Then a student thinks that, but at least I need to attempt it, because I was told that do not leave any blank spaces. So you want to make sure that you are writing your answer. Then you end up picking one. That's a mistake. If all headings look same, please do not make a choice. Yes, Surinda, thank you so much for attempting. There you go. So I appreciate that you have quite good reading skills there, Surinda. Well done. So we do the same thing here. So you are going to match with each and every heading. If all headings look same, move on. Do not make a choice. Do not throw your precious points. That's very important. So what you would do, you are going to move on to the passage B. You read it, summarize it, and make sure that you write it. That's very, very important, because all these headings are very similar to your summary. If you're trying to memorize and then match, so there would be keywords from your memory in the different options. You get distracted. You hardly get your answers right. But if you have written it, you would know the minor difference between your summary and all these passages here. Then if you're going to look at paragraph B, you are going to create your own heading. You're going to match with each and every option. Still, you did everything right, but all headings look similar. Even in that situation, please do not make a choice. Move on, attempt the C one. Then you are going to do the same thing. Your strategy remains the same. Create your own heading, write it, and then match with the options. And there you go. You got a very convincing answer. And the objective of moving on is that we want to do the easy ones first. That's our viewpoint. So we don't want to throw our precious points, that we need to make a choice. Only then we are moving. So once you have picked up out of 5 questions, if you could shortlist it with 3 options, then you have few to choose from. It gets really easy. And when you're going to come back at the first one, after some time, you are going to see that how easy was it. So quick recap, what exactly you need to do, that read the instructions. That would be your lowercase Roman numeral. Go through all the headings one by one, read your first passage, summarize it in 1 line, and then match that summary with each and every heading. If all headings look same, move on. Do not make a choice. It may cost you a point if you're not going to move on. Then we want to shorten the given list. So once you have picked up the convincing ones, you have few to choose from. Then you can come back. And again, any difficult word, make sure that you make a note of it. Do not write the sentences as your answers. And these headings are not questions. These are like themes of a book or themes of a movie. So even though it may seem that you may even notice in some of the headings there's a question mark, it doesn't mean that you are seeking 1-line answers. That's the important part. So I hope this is quite helpful. And do not make a choice if you're not sure. After you have attempted the easy ones, then come back to it. And of course, you're going to time yourself from the day one. If it takes long, you could just attempt more matching heading questions. If you happen to join our classes, which I would certainly encourage if you're not part of the group yet, that you are making a small investment towards way better things in life. This money would come back to you manifold, but if you're going to prepare on your own, you are going to collect so much of information. Most of it is clickbait and not giving you exact things what you need to do. So everything is compiled. You have the practice material. The most important part when it comes to reading section is that you start practicing anything that comes your way. As you would be preparing, a lot of PDFs will be circulating that this is the best material, this is the academic material, practice it, this is the general training material. You pick up the task and you start practicing. So you think that, it had to be the correct one because someone else sent it to me. So rather than helping it, and I will tell you the why I'm saying the quality resource material is important, because the content creator has created that content, probably picked up that article from a renowned magazine. The article looks promising, that when you look at the article, the information is quite complex. When you look at the questions, those questions are prepared by the content creator. Now, there are no checks and balances. Is the content creator trying to express the information? Is it making sense? Is it relevant? Has it been like proofread by someone else? Probably not. But we, like from the day one, you would be given quality resource material. We have our dedicated like website as well, IELTS You can have a look at practice tests over there. And that's very important, practice material and the tips and strategies and a small investment that you are going to make. So everything combined, your journey becomes smooth. Now, if you have any questions, if you would like to ask any questions, you could do that right now. So inviting everyone that you would like to ask any questions, I would love to answer these. This is for everyone. Any questions you may have, you could type it here. Yes, any questions that you would like to ask? So then remaining time, we would have our counselors as well. If you would like to seek any advice on our visa services, anything that you would like to discuss, any probably this is important that if you would like to get in touch, that if you have registered, you are going to receive a practice PDF that you can practice, and whatever we discussed, try to implement those tips and strategies. And we have a dedicated Telegram group as well, where you can get in touch with our team. I'd be there too. So, okay, fill in the blanks. Thank you, Hima, for answering it, for asking this question. So always read the sentence with blanks in between. Do not read the passage first, and always predict that what could come in that blank. Is it going to be a noun maybe, or adjective? What exactly are you going to look for, or any word for that matter you can predict. So before going in the passage, make sure that you predict that what could come in that blank. Then once you go in the passage, you need to write the exact word from the given passage. And when you are writing your answer, you need to make sure three things: that you are writing the exact word from the passage, you are not exceeding the word limit, and your word makes sense. So if it doesn't fit in, make sure that you go back and recheck. Okay, I hope it helps, Hima. Okay, Amit writes, facing problems with true and false, especially not given questions. So that's a quite interesting question, Amit. Now, when it comes to true, false, not given questions, true is easy. False, then, and you have not given. In both cases, information is hidden. Now, in some cases, it would be not given. Some cases, it would be false. Just ask this question, that the given statement, ask this question, what is the truth then? If you have opposite answer of it, then it would be false. If there is no information in that regard, everything remains silent, then it would be not given. So you need to ask this question, what is the truth then? All right, so 19th November, 15 days for preparation. So any particular section that, because at the moment we are running writing section, then it would be listening, And after that, we're going to do speaking. So if we look at 15 days time, you'd be attempting listening and speaking. Any specific section that you are facing difficulties? Okay, math questions when it comes to, so please do type in that any specific section, or you could opt for one-to-one classes as well. Okay, when it comes to math questions, the most important part is that the vocabulary. They are going to use few words or task specific, topic specific vocabulary. You need to be well versed with that. So if you do not know the band 9 math vocabulary that is used extensively, then you need to be good with directions as well. Writing and speaking. So I mean, the speaking starts after. I mean, what I would request you, please get in touch with me. Please do send a message to our team, or like, you have the number here, and we would certainly help you. So we may suggest you one-to-one classes as well. So please do get in touch. So matching math questions, band 9 vocabulary, that's very important. Then when you are starting your question, always pay attention to, in the beginning, the initial point. Pick up that point, then glide your pointer as you're listening. So moving along is certainly helpful. So if you are going to move the pointer, if it asks you to turn right, left, then if you are moving as the audio instructs you, it is certainly helpful. If it doesn't help, we have a dedicated Telegram group. You could always interact. All your questions, queries would be answered. So if you are planning to appear for your IELTS test, I would certainly encourage that be wise with your money and invest where you are not given clickbaits, and you have quality resource material. Appropriate tips and strategies are given, and we back to back we have a reputation of achieving such high scores. Gagandeep, right? Sometimes in multiple choice questions not given like 8,000 kilometer, like Amsterdam, Sydney, but it is not given in the paragraph. Gagandeep, I think probably you are part of the Telegram group. I'm not exactly understanding that. Is it related to fill in the blanks questions, or multiple choice questions, or true false not given questions? So we are having our counselors as well, and if you have any visa related queries, you could always ask your questions. Probably you are planning to migrate to Canada, Australia, or UK, or maybe if you are having any student visa queries as well, you can get in touch with our team. So this is the number. If you would like to enroll, you are most welcome. We have flexible batches, early mornings, then 11 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, then 11 o'clock in the morning, then 3 in the afternoon. Then we have 8 o'clock, then 9 o'clock batches as well. So all our classes are recorded. Look forward to your presence, and really appreciate that we had such a good number joining in, interacting, and now we are going to move on to our counselors. And if you have any visa related queries, you could always ask. Or everyone, there'll be a feedback form as well, where we would request you to share your questions, queries, anything that how did you find today's session? Was it interactive for you? Did you enjoy it? How helpful was it? So look forward to your presence. In the meantime, before our counselors start interacting, if you have any questions that you would like to ask, you could do so. Anything that been troubling you for your IELTS preparation. So I asked this question in the beginning as well, that how many of you are preparing on your own? If you could, please do type it here. All right. So how many of you are preparing on your own? Okay, Shruti, thanks so much. Thank you for update. And let's get to know each other. I mean, the more we're going to be clear, it would certainly help me. So Shruti, Gagandeep, thanks so much. So, and how many of you are taking coaching as well? That it could be from our group or maybe from some other group. So if you are taking the coaching, you can write the coaching, or if you're preparing on your own, you can write self-study. But would certainly encourage everyone to participate. Okay, Ria, thanks so much. Twinkle, thank you for update. Okay, Annette, thanks so much. So multiple choice questions, Shruti. When it comes to multiple choice questions, that always read the questions and that to one question at a time, then I would never recommend that go through the options in the beginning. Always understand the question. That if there are any difficult words, just make sure that you find out the meaning of those words. Spend more time on the question. Then go back in the passage, same thing like we did in the matching heading questions. Have your answer, write it down, and then match with the given options. This increases the accuracy, of course. But again, the practice material matters a most. If you are just practicing randomly, I mean, this is not going to help you. All the tips and strategies, either you'd be getting all your answers correct, or you'd be making lots of mistakes. Both ways, it is not helpful. So a survey suggests that almost 70% students who appear or who just been preparing on their own had to redo the test, because even though you have the best intentions, you think that what information is widely available, what difference it makes. But all that time and energy you could dedicate to someone who is professional in that field, having the precise tips and strategies, giving you the quality resource material. Um, not all the books I would recommend that it's not about how many tests you do, it's about following up your mistakes. So we tend to think that I'm going to attempt probably 60 tests, but this would not ensure that you. I have had so many students that I have completed all the books, I have completed all the practice material that came my way, but still I am not getting more than 20 or so. So that's not going to help. Just completing those books is certainly not going to help. Now, any other questions? I could see that. So what is your reason for self-study? If you could please type it, just 1 or 2 lines that I'm a working person or it's expensive. According to you, what are the reasons that you have opted to study on your own? We are just getting to know each other. So let's make it more interactive. What are your reasons for not opting for, okay, Shruti, and let's be very transparent, honest about it. Exactly as you feel. Okay, Shruti, that's being expensive. That's one of the reasons. Okay, and Ria writes, I was able to score 7.5 self-study, but the reading part was a challenge, hence taking coaching to do better. Okay, yes, makes sense. Okay, not good institutions that I opt. Okay, you could opt for a demo class as well with our group. So that gives you a chance that you can see that is it informative or not, is it helpful for you or not. And you can have a look. If you enroll, it even gives you a chance that if you're not happy with the like up to 2 to 3 days, you can even claim your money back. And I would say, the money that you are making towards our coaching is you could spend over the weekend. I mean, then this money would come back to you manifold if you're going to be wise with the money. Make a small investment towards way better things in life. This would save you plenty of time, and more importantly, you are very, very likely to achieve your desired score on the very first attempt. If you're going to attempt the test 2 times, maybe 3 times, the expenses go past 50,000 rupees or so. So we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure that we're going to dedicate 4 weeks time, and then we're going to achieve our desired score on the very first attempt. So that's what we are planning. So that would come when you have a strategy in place. So, and another important thing that I would like to bring it to your attention, that you need to enjoy this journey. Never start with unrealistic goals that I'm going to dedicate 4 hours, 5 hours, every day, and I'd be able to ace my IELTS test. You are not likely. So you may give it up fairly quickly, that you started on the day 1, you read for 4 hours, but very next day, so much of information was coming in that you gave up after 2 days. So you need to enjoy this journey. Do little bit every day. So what I recommend, that 20 minutes for the reading, then 15 minutes for the listening, doing half of the test, and then 5 minutes while recording yourself. So we got our education counselor just joined in. And if you have any visa related queries, maybe you would like to know about which universities are suitable, or about your migration, or you are planning to go abroad on the express entry or skilled migration program. So our education counselors have joined in. If you have any questions, you could just type in that I would like to discuss my visa queries. You can just type in the comment box here. Any queries that you may have. So be consistent with your preparation and make sure that you are enjoying this journey. Do not let yourself be burdened because of so much of information would be coming in. If you are not going to have a strategy, okay, so your mics are enabled now. If you have any visa related queries, okay, best course for commerce. Okay, Gagandeep has this question. Okay. So someone who is planning to study abroad for commerce stream, what could be the best courses? Like our counselors would be interacting. In between, if you have any questions related to IELTS, you could always ask anything that you would like to discuss. And how much do you think that the preparation time, when are you planning to appear for your test? So if you probably after 4 months, or if you have already booked your test, if you have a test date, if you could please type it here. So if you have already a test date, I may give you last minute tips. Okay, we just posted it IELTS Telegram group link. Let me just copy that and okay, so we have a question for our counselors that want to know about express entry. So we have today's giveaway as well. So please do attempt it and do let me know what was your score. It contains the answers as well. How helpful was it for you? Okay, how many speaking and writing evaluations will be done in your course? So 5 days a week, 5 speaking evaluations you would have. Writing week, you would have 5 evaluations as well. But as you can see, okay, sure. Vaishali, just a moment. I'm just typing my Telegram ID here. So you can get in touch, or IELTStutorials.online. The ID that I have shared is my Telegram ID. But again, when it comes to speaking and writing evaluations, as probably you can see in the group itself, that we do give feedbacks on a regular basis. So it's we go this extra mile for our test takers, that if you are going to write regularly, you may get quite a good number even past the writing week. So when it comes to numbers, I would say throughout the writing and speaking, you are given feedbacks. But if you are writing regularly, and then you are certainly going to get more. Or then we have our paid writing evaluations. If you would like to have a proper band score, that how exactly you did.